I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to have evidence, evidence, evidence. Welcome to my channel, I'm Dani, and in this video I want to share my experience, an unfortunate experience about my Chanel wallet on chain when I consigned it with a local consigner. So here is my Chanel wallet on chain. It is in patent leather. The color is dark peach and it comes with silver hardware. So that's what it looks like on the front, and that's it at the back with the Mona Lisa pocket on the sides. On the bottom, there's no feet. On the inside, there are lots of pockets. There's a pocket up there. It says Chanel over there in silver paint, silver ink. And then there is a non-adjustable, non-detachable, interwoven Chanel strap. There are 6 card slots on the inside. There is another slip pocket over here, a zipper pocket over there, and another pocket over here. I've already done an in-depth review on this bag, so if you're interested, go ahead and check out the video. I've linked it in the description box below. Essentially, the reason I've decided to sell this bag is because I no longer have a reason to have so many small bags. At one point in my life, I was enjoying a lot of mini bags. It suited my lifestyle. I carried it as a second bag together with my daughter's nappy bag, so this worked out really well. But, you know, I am growing out of small size handbags now, and I also carry sunscreen, so this doesn't fit sunscreen. The other issue with this bag is, you know, I did buy it pre-loved, and I've said it before on my channel. Some things you just can't tell when you're buying online. So the issue was that this button closure, this is the old design from Chanel, so now Chanel makes it with a magnetic closure, but this button closure has worn a little bit and it's just that little bit too loose. So when I stuff it with my things, it just pops open, and certainly I can go and get it fixed at Chanel, but it doesn't solve the problem that the bag is still too small for me. The other issue was that at the time that I committed to selling this bag, I had been a bit spendy, or was going to be a bit spendy. Like, perhaps, I think maybe it was a time when I just bought my Birkin. I can't remember, but anyway, I do remember thinking I have to let go of some bags, and this was one of the bags that I culled. So I took this bag to a local consigner, and I left it there for 6 months. Unfortunately, there was no interest. So I decided to go and get the bag back. Now, by that time, my guilt for spending so much had settled. So at the time I was actually happy to get the bag back, and I thought, okay, I will just go and commit and get this button repaired and I will use this bag. So what happened was, when I went to pick up the bag, you know, I browsed around the shop for a little bit, then I took the bag, and then I left the store and I was walking back towards my car. I decided to just take the bag out of its box to check it. And this was when I discovered new wear and tear. So these pen marks over here on the back, let me see if I can get a good angle. So these ones over here, you know, these ones, they were new. So that one was there already, but these ones were definitely new, and I recall that. I'll zoom in closer for you. So these stains over here, these are the new ones. This stain that you see over here, that's old. I was like, holy cow. I hadn't left yet, so I walked back to the store and I said, the sales associate, excuse me, there are new stains on my bag. These weren't here before. And the first thing she said was, oh, look, it's documented in our records that there were pen marks already. I'm saying, yes, there was this pen mark over here, this one, but not these ones, not the new ones. And so happened, I actually had video evidence of what my bag looked like. So before I dropped my bag off at the consigner, I took a video of the condition of this bag. And obviously on my phone, there was the date and the time of the video. Now, when I agreed to consign this bag, I had to sign an electronic contract, and that got emailed to me. So obviously that was on record as well. So from the time my video was taken to the time that I received my emailed contract, it was an hour and 20 minutes difference. So I was able to say to the sales associate, look, this is the time that I got the contract from you guys to sell this bag, and I left this bag with you, and this is the time that my video was taken. At that point in time, she then said, okay, well, we'll look at our own records as well. And they certainly went ahead and looked at their photos that they took when the bag first arrived, and they agreed that this stain was new. Oh. So that was the first hurdle. I was able to provide evidence that, you know, this damage was caused by you, and this is going to devalue my bag. And I'm glad we came to that understanding. Because the boss of the business was not there, the sales associate had to say, well, I'm going to have a chat to the boss. I can see that this damage was caused when the bag was with us, so leave it with us. In any case, because I was actually leaving to travel really soon, I said, well, you take the photos, then you got the photo evidence, you got the evidence of what it looks like here, and you can compare it to your original photos. I would prefer to bring the bag with me because I want to take it overseas. And she thought, okay, that was a reasonable deal. Not long after I left the shop, I got a message from the consigner saying the boss has agreed to reimburse you 200 Australian dollars. I was satisfied with that offer, so I accepted, and they just did a bank transfer of $200 to my bank account. So yeah, the shop had no idea how the extra pen marks got there. They reflected and they realized that they did store this without a dust bag. So when I dropped it off, this bag didn't have its own dust bag. And with patent leather, you got to be really careful with ink. So it must have touched against maybe some other bag that had ink on it and then it just transferred. Who knows? But anyway, so a couple lessons. Make sure you're really careful with your patent leather bags. And I can't emphasize enough how important it is to have evidence. So I video everything. That's why I do true unboxings. I don't want to unbox something and then have to dispute with somebody that something was wrong when I opened the box. So I always have video evidence when I open a box. I also do video evidence of boxing. So essentially when I sell an item, I make sure I have video evidence of the condition of the bag and how I package the bag, all the way up to the point of sticking the label on. Now, the reason I think that's really important is there was one experience I heard of where this person received a bag that was not in a condition that was described. There was a little bit more wear and tear, so they decided to return the item to the seller. The seller accepted, but in transit, the item got lost. It turned up again approximately 6 months later, and it was then delivered to the seller. When the seller opened the box, the bag was completely moldy. And that was probably because the box had gone missing and it was sitting in some sort of damp and dark space, and that's how the bag got moldy. But because the buyer who returned the item didn't have any video evidence of what the bag looked like when she posted it back, she couldn't get all her money back. Essentially, the cost of the loss of the bag was then divided. So the seller had to pay 50% and the buyer had to pay 50%. So essentially, the buyer only got half her money back. And that would be a real sting if it was a really expensive designer handbag. Now, I'm not going to mention the name of the consigner because, you know, I really believe that this was an innocent mistake. There is no reason for the consigner to deliberately try and damage my bag because it's a loss to all of us. If you've had similar experiences, please let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, certainly give me a like because it'll really help out my channel and my video. And if you're interested in hearing my full review on this bag, go ahead and click over here.